Welcome back to the Try You channel, where we don't give a titty sprinkle what you had for dinner. I'm Rob.
I'm Neil.
And we were talking about bacon lettuce Todd in the last edition, and we will continue with bacon lettuce Todd, I promise. We want you to come to tryu.com, fill out your top 10 list, movies, books, music, connect with other users, get the best recommendations out there. I was going to go through, and I will tie this into bacon lettuce Todd. I promise. I don't know how good I will do it, but I will tie it into bacon lettuce Todd. But we got custom lists on Try You, just because, you know, to fill out your top 10, and I want it this way on purpose. I want it to kind of be a struggle. I want you to have to really hone in, and it'll really be your favorites if you have to limit it. But I have so many, you know, I could do action, comedy, you know, gangster movies, and, you know, just a bunch of different subgenres. But my comedies, I'll read off, and this is my first go at it. It was off the top of my head, but I kept it because I'm fine with it. I love all these movies. They're all great, funny to me. So number 10's Best in Show. Number 9, Swingers. Number 8, Dumb and Dumber. Number 7, Superbad. Number 6, Up in Smoke. Number 5, This Is the End. Number 4, Made. Number 3, Bottle Rocket. Number 2, The Foot Fist Way. And number 1, The Big Lebowski, which I know would make your comedy list. It's in your top 10. Mm-hmm. I didn't do any crossovers for my top 10 because I already have those listed, which Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Royal Tenenbaums would have certainly made this list. And I didn't repeat directors, like I try not to. But I mean, this is something I would like to talk about with you, because you could start building a comedy list, and this is how it works. And sometimes, I mean, I'm to the point where now I almost want to write them down on paper before I post them, because I always forget one. But I mean, do you think you would have how long do you think it would take you to get together a 10 list that you would be
right off the top of my head? I know I would have Harlem Nights.
Okay.
I would, it'd be tough if I wasn't just going by director and only an actor, I would definitely have a Bill Murray in mind. So I'd have to decide which one that would be. I don't have Bill Murray.
Steve Zissou, initially would be my thought. Yeah, that sucks. I don't have Bill Murray in there.
You know, and then I would think of my other favorite comedians, because Harlem Nights knocks out Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy right there in Red Fox. But, you know, I'd probably try to think of one with maybe a Jim Carrey or a Steve Martin, or, you know, like Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder. A hilarious movie. But then we talked about even breaking it down into more subcategories of satirical comedies and indie comedies.
Sure.
Mainstream comedies. Like for me, mainstream would be like Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Old School, you know, stuff like that.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
That's Dumb and Dumber's on mine, one of the most mainstream comedies. That one is great still. I do have a few indie, I think. I guess Swingers would have been.
You got quite a few indie in there.
Made, Bottle Rocket, The Foot Fist Way. If you haven't seen The Foot Fist Way, it's one of the greatest comedies I've seen all time.
How'd you find out about that one?
My older cousin Jackie had called me. He wanted me to see it so bad, and it was on a satellite dish that my dad had at the time, and then it went off. He went and rented it when it was still renting from Blockbuster. And brought it over because he wanted somebody else to see it that bad, and it paid off. It's one of my favorites. That's Danny McBride, Jody Hill, who they went on to do Eastbound and Down together. They just make great movies.
And that one's produced by Will Ferrell.
No, they what they did was it'd been released and it didn't make I think this is what I remember. And they released it. I don't think it made a lot of money. And Will Ferrell and his Adam McKay, one of those guys saw it, and then they re-released it and put Will Ferrell and Adam McKay present. So it gained it some traction, I believe, which was a great thing for them guys to do, I think. But we're talking about indie comedies, and I can relate one that I just watched, Lemon. I saw it on Hulu, and the guy Brett Gelman, I believe is his name, stars in it. You'll see him in some other stuff. He doesn't have this is the only starring role that I know that he does, but there could be others. And Judy Greer and Michael Cera. It's a real crazy, kind of a dark comedy. It'll make you kind of do double takes and think, did I just see that right? There's this particular scene I'm thinking of, and it confused me, and it was hilarious because it was so off-putting, and it didn't really fit what I thought was going to happen. I love to be surprised in any capacity in any film. Comedies are great. The surprises are usually, if you're surprised, you're usually laughing pretty hard. But lemon, I can relate back to bacon lettuce Todd. And he would, well, you know, I'll tell the orange story first. The lemon, the orange, I feel that I can do that. I think that's an okay comparison. Well, Seth and I were, my cousin Seth and I were behind the bar. He was on shift as a waiter. He comes up and he orders a tall Blue Moon, which they serve with an orange wedge, if you're not familiar.
The proper garnish.
The proper garnish for the Blue Moon. And he ordered a tall Blue Moon. So I poured it, and I told Seth, watch this. So I put a full orange at the top of the glass. And it
unpeeled.
Unpeeled, yeah, an unpeeled orange. And so he takes it over to the table, and it's just a few, you know, maybe 10, 20 feet away from where we're standing. He just sits it down and doesn't say anything to the guy that ordered it, and he just goes, ha, ha, ha. And he walks away, and nothing really came of it.
I wish I would have seen that one.
It was
I would
funny.
like to see the guy's reaction when he went to try to take a drink of that beer.
Well, I mean, there's no missing. He wouldn't try to take a drink. There's an orange on top of the glass. But I think the guy actually laughed. But it was kind of ballsy. Bacon Loves Todd just didn't give a shit. But the lemon thing, I think, is even more. This one just, I mean, it kind of boggles the mind. It did me. And he told me to try this. He actually suggested that I do this. And I guess I should predicate it. We worked in kind of an upper middle class area of Columbus, so it was mostly upper middle class white people really coming in there. Well, he would say anytime anybody ordered a Heineken, he would say this: "Can I suggest to you what the black people do and have a lemon with your Heineken?" And I don't think he was being racist, so I'm unsure. He was crazy. I guess you could be crazy and racist for certain, but I don't know. But in the something odd was people would go with it. Yeah, I'll have a lemon.
The whole thing's odd because I have about 20 years of bartending experience, and I've served a lot of Heinekens to a lot of people, and I've never heard anybody ask for
I wonder if he made that.
whether they're white or
I know. I don't think
it could have happened one time
Yeah.
to him, and then he thought it was a whole stereotypical situation.
So he just augmented one situation. I've never seen white or black either. Anybody ask for a lemon with a Heineken?
It probably tastes good.
I would definitely remember it now if it happened ever since then. If I saw that, I'd be like, oh, Bacon Lettuce Todd. He told us that's people drink
he nailed it
with Heineken. But I think he either made that up or he saw one person do it or somebody told him that was a thing. But he would go around and he would suggest it just like that. Well, your experience with him, I know is a little out there.
Yeah, the first shift I worked with him, I must have been behind the bar, or who knows what capacity I was doing at that point, because I just made a transition and moved back to Ohio and everything, and I was pretty in a depressed, serious part of my life, going through a lot of things, and this guy, I didn't know really much about him, and he came up and asked me
to fuck his mother,
which would have been great. He said, what are you doing, man? What do you do here? What's your story? So I was in a serious mood and kind of, I do this. And he said, well, man, I got a great situation if you want to come with me to Indianapolis and basically be a lab rat and make $3,500 and take a bunch of drugs. You don't know what they're going to do to you and have people observe you.
It's a great opportunity. He presented the opportunity to me as well. At the time I didn't think that's not that great of a thing. And the last I known him, he was still doing the lab rat stuff, and that's been over a decade ago. So I'm sure it's had a wonderful effect.
After that, and then I met you guys and kind of got the gist of Bacon Lettuce Todd. But I was always real interested and curious to hear about his experiences being the lab rat, because that shit's crazy. And he's so if you want to talk about,
well, here's another anomaly about him, and I think I can do this. And this, I actually didn't plan this.
Off the cuff.
It's going to be off the cuff. I did have this. I was talking about indie comedies, and I did have this one, Intermission, directed by John Crowley. It stars Colin Farrell and Cillian Murphy, and I told you it has one of the best opening scenes of a comedy I've ever seen. You're just like,
I can't wait to see that.
I think you're going to really like it. But John Crowley directed a really great film called Boy A, and it stars Andrew Garfield. I believe he played Spider-Man, maybe, in a Spider-Man. He's a pretty big name actor. He was in a Social Network, I believe, too. Anyways, I just wanted to say Garfield because Bacon Lettuce Todd was a cat lover.
Okay.
He had a cat, and he loved his cat. But then he would come to work and with the girls who didn't really know him would talk about animal porn.
Okay.
So he was into animal porn, but he loved his cat. And he claimed, he talked about animal porn. I was like, and I asked him, Bacon Let's Start, are you fucking that cat? Said, no, I love that cat. But he would watch, I guess he would like to watch women get fucked by horses and mules and shit.
Oh, man.
So the girls at work were really, really scared of him. Like, I think, without exception, every single girl we worked with was scared of Bacon Lettuce Todd.
Rightfully.
And he didn't care. He didn't care at all. He would go up and talk about animal porn, but he loved his cat. So I thought...
That is an anomaly.
Yeah, Bacon Lettuce Todd is an anomaly. We'll be back with more Bacon Lettuce Todd. But come to try you. Post your favorite comedies, post your favorite films, post your favorite albums. We can do comedy series. We'd love to see what you're into and give us suggestions. We'll certainly give you the best suggestions we can come up with. And I can almost promise you, you're going to find something you didn't know about and you're going to love. And it won't be Bacon Lettuce Todd. But we will be back with more Bacon Lettuce Todd. And that just hit me, man. We're going to have to force this one.
I know. It is that time.
Give me a hand job. That would be fun. So I'll take one for the team. Just give me a hand job. I don't know what else we can do. You want me to give you the hand job? That's probably what you're thinking, I guess,
Plan B?
Plan B is me give you the hand job. But I said it first. It's like calling shotgun. Hand job. So you're it, man.
Rock, scissors, paper.
You're it, man. I don't know if we're going to, off camera, Neil's going to jerk me off to completion. And we'll be back next time, and I'll tell you how that went. And I promise we'll have more Bacon Lettuce Todd stories. But I want to get to this. See you later. Bye.